It's going live now.
Okay.
Hey, hey. Hey, you guys.
Hello, hello.
We are back for another episode of Bourbon Nights, Real Talk with Men. Now, we got a few housekeeping things before we get started. Now, if you're not already, make sure you click that follow button and that like and subscribe button. And before we get into this, because I have a feeling tonight gonna be some real juicy, hot and spicy stuff, make sure you remember to keep it classy in the chat. I am one of your awesome dynamic co-hosts for Bourbon Nights, Dr. Tanisha Guy, your bougie therapist, the one who is building opportunities uniquely with grace, integrity, and excellence.
I am the April Michelle.
And I am Love's Passion. We got a
delay.
I think we have a delay. Okay, April, take us again. I am the April Michelle, your transformative therapist and coach, owner of 2 multi-million-dollar businesses.
I am Love's Passion, your board certified clinical sexologist specializing in women with arousal issues. Explore your passion for pleasure with Love's Passion.
And my name is Vicki Walls. I am a licensed professional counselor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I am CEO of a Better You Counseling Center and Sister Girl Empowerment. So, guys, when I say it's time to sit down, okay, and open our minds, all right, open our heart and listen to what we are talking about tonight. So tonight's topic is breaking point, the impact of sex on relationship. And we have none other than Mr. Kenyatta Brown. He's a 46-year-old, lives in Houston, Texas, by way of Kenwood, Louisiana. He's a husband, a father, a friend, and most of all, a child of the Most High God. And he lived by faith and is guided by love. Okay. So we're going to bring out Kenyatta Brown, and he's going to talk to us about the impact of sex on relationships. So welcome on, Kenyatta.
How you doing?
Hey.
Glad to
how
have
you
you
ladies
here
doing?
tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm good.
Yes. So you ready to talk about this?
Let's talk about
the impacts of sex on relationships?
Let's get into it.
Okay. So I heard that you're coming bearing your heart out. You're going to talk about how important sex is to you, how it has impact and affect your relationships, and how you've been in relationships. So whatever you want to start with, Kenyatta, we are ready.
First of all, I'm an open book. Whatever questions you later have, feel free to ask. The impact of sex. I think sex is very important in a relationship. I think as far as a man, it's to a man like money are to a woman. So where y'all are more conservative with it, we like to say that's our finance. We like to put everything on that. I mean, when we meet women, the first thing we're doing is pretty much trying to get sex. So
Wait a minute now.
Yeah, that's
so
the
you
first
putting
thing.
it out there?
We put it out there. That's the first thing on our mind. We meet a woman. We trying to get sex. Yes.
Kenyatta, question.
Okay.
Does that
You know
change
what?
as you get older? Or are
Yes,
you
it do.
saying, okay,
Yes, it do. It do. In my younger years, it was all about that. I think as I got older, it was more about love, more about commitment, and that only came a few years ago. To be honest with you, I treated sex as a coping mechanism. I abuse sex. To really be truthful with you, I really abuse sex. I treated women as objects. So with healing came more of an understanding about sex, and with that, I went to understanding that sex is more than just the physical. It's more mental, spiritual. So, but in my earlier years, I was bad. I mean, if the sex wasn't good after 3 times, it was over.
after
I
three,
know y'all have questions.
let,
Come on with the
let,
question.
let me be clear on what I heard you say. If the sex wasn't good after 3 times, it was over. Now, is this
Yeah, I'm gonna
somebody
get
you're in a relationship with, or just somebody you hooking up with occasionally?
hook up relationships. It didn't matter. I gave you 3 times. If the third time it was like
Well,
that was it.
so,
Yeah,
well, Ken, I
and
can
I
say
know
that
it's
for
bad.
some women,
I
I don't even
know
think
it's
they can
bad,
make it past the first part.
huh?
After the first one, it's over.
With who? Women?
I said for some ladies, I can tell you. Yeah, for some, not all, but for some, they're not giving you no three strikes.
Is
First
that
round
true?
is over.
So,
Is that true?
so
So
would
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so would you say that you are a have you mastered the art of sex, and since it's based on your metrics?
Yes, I would say I'm not gonna say I've mastered it because we all can learn, but I think I'm damn good at it.
Well, everybody think they good at it until somebody tell them they not.
No, I haven't. I haven't had any complaints.
But no complaints doesn't equal that you're
Okay,
good.
so
Go ahead.
what you say, April?
I said no complaints doesn't measure out to good or bad.
Well, I mean, but if you don't have anybody to tell you, okay, that wasn't it. This, blah, 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 you would not know. So I'm quite sure it's probably something like, yeah, he didn't measure up, but I haven't heard it.
Oh, here's my question, because we're talking about how does sex
Okay.
impact relationships. So if you're in a committed relationship, do you feel or have you felt in the past as a man that you had to have sex with multiple women, or you were okay with just having sex with one woman?
Oh no, I was a cheater. I was a cheater because I felt like one woman couldn't satisfy me. So the more the merrier. And that was my thought process. Like I messed up a lot of relationships with that mindset. I messed up a lot of them. If whoever I was in a relationship with wasn't measuring up at the time, I was going to find somebody to try and measure it up. And over the years, as I learned, like as I started healing, I realized it wasn't them, it was me. So with that being said, like it's a lot of women I owe apologies to.
What do you attribute your
Okay.
sexual appetite to?
Trauma.
Mm.
Do you mind sharing what your trauma is or
I was
was?
okay. No, no. Um, I was molested when I was 11 by both a man and a woman.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that it it did something to me mentally because sex was just I didn't understand the dynamics of it. That and feeling alone as a child. So I feel like the more women I slept with, the I felt like I was accepted, loved. So that contribute to a lot of it, and that was just part of the trauma.
So your family dynamic, how did they deal with your trauma? Like when you told them, how did they deal with it? Did they
Well, I didn't.
recognize it as trauma?
No, I didn't tell anyone till probably I was in my 40s, like 2017. Because I didn't know I had trauma. I didn't know that's
Mm.
what it was. I just thought I was just had a high sex drive, and I had like me being molested led to me having a child at 14, and not knowing, never had the talk of the birds and the bees with a male. Um, Never had that sit down moment of how sex is pleasurable, but it's serious. I never had that, and so everything that I learned about sex, I learned on my own.
Hmm. Kenyatta, thank you for sharing something that is definitely very personal with, at this point, the world. I know that couldn't have been easy. And so you said that as a result of the sexual trauma, for you, your response to it was sexually acting out. And for
Yeah,
you, sex was how you communicated love or what you thought was a representation of love.
facts.
At what point did you begin to see that sex is something different than love, or has that happened for you?
Oh yes, it happened. Once I started getting help, counseling, things like that, working through my trauma, healing. Um, Now I'm knowing that sex is more than just a physical thing. I've realized that I was never satisfied because I never tapped into my spiritual when it came to sex. I never tapped into the emotional part. It was just physical, keep it going. And along the way of me doing that, I have to be honest and say that I treated a lot of women bad who didn't deserve it. Beautiful, good women, and I scarred them along the way. They say hurt people hurt people. Me not knowing that I'm hurting them, but I'm using them for my own selfish gain. And at
Mm.
that time, it was just sex. So I know I opened up saying that sex is very important in a relationship, and it is. But I want everybody to realize and know that it's not the main thing.
Mm.
That's really good.
Wow.
Within your did you ever compensate with sex? Like, I know you said it's enjoyable, but have you ever used it as a revenge mechanism or as a cover for your emotions? Like when you're angry or sad, that's what you drew to.
That's when I cheated. Angry, I'm going to cheat. Argument, I'm going to cheat. You don't give me what I want, I'm going to cheat. Oh, that's what you say? I'm going to cheat. I mean, that's what it was. I used it as a tool,
It was your coping mechanism.
very much so.
Very much like the person who uses alcohol to self-medicate to deal with their
Facts.
emotions. For you,
Yes,
you use sex to help you
I
deal with
used
your
sex. Sex was my drug of choice. I
absolutely.
mean, everything from porn to women to whatever.
So by definition, an addict is someone who engages in unhealthy behavior, even though it causes consequences, i.e., problems at work, problems in their personal life. Would you have classified yourself as a sex addict at some point?
Hmm. I wouldn't say a sex addict because I can control it. The question is, did I want to control it? I didn't want to.
I'm going to repeat what I said, Kenyatta. By definition, an addict is someone who has negative consequences as a result of what they're doing, continues to
Mm.
engage in those behaviors despite knowing it has negative consequences, i.e., at work and in their personal life. The question wasn't, could you control it? It was, did you believe you were a sex addict based on that definition.
I was a sex addict. Since you put it, yeah, I was,
Mhm.
because I didn't care.
And it impacted your
So,
relationship.
Oh, yes, most
mhm.
definitely.
So within
So
your
Ken,
healing,
can you oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, can you speak on how this impact your relationship with your kids? Because I know you said that your first child was you were 14 years old.
Hmm.
So
I was a
how
boy.
does it
I
impact? I
mean,
know.
you have to look at it like I was a boy trying to raise a child. I was a child trying to raise a child. Um, and not just at that age, like I said, I'm an open book. So if I can help the next person, I will. I didn't grow up to what when I moved to Houston. I mean, really grow up and start becoming a man. That's why I call Houston my rebirth place. Um, I was a child raising kids, and so
Mhm.
everything negative that, especially my boys, they saw me do, they did. Even with my girls, like I didn't necessarily bringing different women around and all this. I didn't necessarily show them how to be treated by a man. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, if I could have do it over. I love my children, but I would have waited until I was mentally strong enough to make them better, because I really messed them up. And even with just them seeing me in and out their mom's life, going in and out their bedroom, because that's all they was for too. To be honest, which is only I can truly say I only love what maybe 3 women in my life, and for the first time now I'm in love. So
Mhm.
the way I treated their mom was very, man. It was mm, damn, yeah.
so how many children do you have and what are their genders?
I have 6 biological kids. Let me see. Wait, no, yeah, 6 biological kids, 2 step kids.
And the
I
genders?
have three boys and 5 girls.
So as a father of daughters, do you give them the information to protect themselves from someone like you growing up?
Oh yes, they know not to bring me home.
That
Kenyatta, they know not to bring you home. How do they know
Oh,
not to bring you home? Girls normally grow up and date their fathers. So they're dating you.
and
They're
and
dating
and
representations of you.
right, right. But you know what? Through the years, I think I have been an open book with them, and they are making some pretty good choices right now as far as men.
How are you working to bridge the divide for other young men that have gone through the sexual traumas that you have and have been praised for them? Because, they say with men, the younger you are, that you lose your virginity, that makes you more of a man. So, how are you trying to, stomp out that stigma?
Stop the lies. So that's what happened with me. Wanting the locker room talk, wanting the oh, I'm a big man. I want to be the man instead of being a man.
Mm.
So when I talk to men, young guys younger than me, my age or whatever. My thing to them is treat that woman the way you would want your mom, your daughter, your sister to be treated. Um, and that's a passion of mine, is to guide young men.
There's a question on the screen that we would love for you to answer.
Hmm.
So it says, what finally made you want to stop your negative behavior?
I want to stop hurting people,
Mm.
because I'm a loving person by nature. I love hard, and
Literally.
my actions wasn't matching up with that.
He didn't hear that, Vicky.
What'd you say?
Literally. You said I love hard. I said literally.
Don't do that. But my actions wasn't my actions were far from who I am, and I know that. And every time when I did get a moment of clarity, I knew it was time. It's time to get help. So, yeah.
Do you think that your sexual appetite has hindered your life, your financial, your spiritual? We know spiritual, but as far as your financial growth, has it hindered you in life?
Hell yeah. If I could say that, I'm sorry. Yes. Yes. Nobody, I don't think nobody with addiction, some type of addiction, they are hindered some type of way. And yes, I mean, I would choose to go have sex to go to work.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. The things that I have chose to put sex over is right. Man, look, I chose sex over myself. Like I chose sex over my kids. I chose sex over relationships. So a hindrance is an understatement.
So has it put you in a position where it could have taken your life?
Never had an STD. But I did. I share a story with you. I was in a female house in Baton Rouge, a stripper, and I stayed over there. I knew her. No, I didn't. I kind of knew her. And
I knew it. I
You knew
kind
her
of
from
didn't.
visiting a strip club? Did you know her
I
from
met her
visiting a strip club?
I met her at a regular club. And
Oh,
probably
okay.
we conversated for probably a week, a couple of days, you know. And I went to her house. She left to go get breakfast. I was laying in the bed, and her boyfriend came in.
Oh,
Her boyfriend walked in.
man.
Like I was like,
What
oh.
were you doing, Ken, when he walked in? Were you laying down?
Yeah, I was laying
Were
down.
you dressed? Like,
I was totally
paint the
unprepared.
picture.
Paint the picture.
I was totally unprepared. You just put it like that. And he had me dead to the right. Like it wasn't nothing I can do.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh man, that was scary. Like, but guess what? I didn't stop.
Was it a heightened sense of excitement?
You know what? No, not that it wasn't. That was really was scary. But I do feel like a lot of things I did was because of that adrenaline you get for certain things you know you don't supposed to be doing. So
Mhm.
Did you feel you were on a chase or a chase for that next high? Something that you were chasing?
oh yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Yes. Not just the most high, it was just ego.
Mm.
Ego. I felt like I was the man, so I wanted to prove it. As far as if we would used to take bits, they would bet me. I bet you can't get them. Okay, I'm gonna show you. That's how that that's sad. That is sad, you know. And I can look back on it and really be like, damn, I see why a lot of karma is knocking at my door.
Do you think that the
So how did
people
you
that
get out
you
of that
surrounded?
situation? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I was saying with the situation where the young lady's boyfriend came home. How did you get out the situation?
I mean, luckily he was an understanding guy. He understood his wife was cheating. I mean, his girl was cheating, and I felt like this. I didn't rape her. She invited me here. He didn't live there. He had a key to the place. Wasn't my fault, man. Take that up with her. But luckily he wasn't a TD. And yeah,
A TD?
yeah.
Okay. I don't know what TD stand for.
All I can say is
Baby.
I'm sorry. What
I
is it?
can't say it on here. I read the
Oh,
rules.
okay.
We'll send you a text message, Vicky.
Okay.
I was
Oh, okay.
Question,
so
Ken. How you stated that you're currently married.
Yes.
So how does everything that you've been through in terms of like your past relationships with women, your thoughts about the relationship or about sex, how does that play a role into your marriage?
Oh,
Just
it almost described my current marriage.
can you talk
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I wasn't healed. It
Hmm.
wasn't until it wasn't until I got with this woman I'm with now that I really started wanting to heal or recognizing that I had a problem. Um, but my sexual appetite drove her crazy. She could never satisfy me. I stayed angry with her all the time because me not knowing that it's mental, I felt like physically she wasn't pleasing me. So I stayed angry with her. I directed everything that was wrong with me, I threw it at her. And it drove, like drove her away sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, and then when I started really getting help and really starting to understand, I apologize every day to her because there's not me in that state of mind. It wasn't one woman on this earth could satisfy me.
Yeah, I want to go back to the
So
healing
you were
part.
on a search, huh?
Huh? Say it again.
I said, so you were on a search.
A search for what?
You said there wasn't
Sex?
one woman on this earth that could satisfy you. I said, so yeah,
Yeah.
you were on a search.
At the time, mentally, where I was, yes, no one woman could satisfy me. I don't care how good you was. You could have been doing tricks that any porn star do. I was not going to be satisfied because I was mentally messed up.
So I'm assuming that
Kenyatta,
affects the type of women too that you dated or that you were looking for.
Oh, what you said? Say that. Repeat that.
I said, so I'm sure that affected the type of women that you dated. You know, like it compromised
Oh
you
yeah,
looking for a woman that was probably marriage material versus having a woman that was sexual material. Like
Vicky.
did you ever see?
Vicky, the women at home was marriage material. I didn't want that.
So
I
you would
wanted
date
it
marriage
easy
material
and cheat on them with
with
street
someone that
material.
wasn't
If that's what,
marriage material? Oh, okay.
yes, yes, I would cheat on marriage material with street material because I felt like I could get that pleasure I wanted and didn't. I didn't.
so
can,
I think Retha been trying to say something. Go ahead, Retha.
I just want I'm sorry about this lag, but you were saying that you and your friends would make bets on if you could get these certain women, and it was always a competition thing. Did you surround yourself with other men that were doing the same thing?
Yes, yes, most definitely. I didn't want nobody around me positive, telling me be faithful. No, I didn't want that. I needed that same energy I was putting out. I needed somebody else that was gonna feed the beast.
Mm.
I love this honesty, Kenyatta. I so appreciate it. We definitely need to have more men who are just blatantly honest and truthful about all of this. Um, my question is about when you started talking about your healing. Uh,
Hmm.
we hear women talk a lot about what healing looks like, and they're on their healing journey. What I don't think we hear a lot about men talking about their healing journey. So for you, how did it get started? Because you said you felt like you needed to do this, and what has it looked like?
I'm gonna share something with you, and this is how my journey started. It started one Saturday morning, me trashing the house, flipping out. Um, my wife left me. I had a moment of clarity and I looked at myself and said, you know what? I need help. I need help. And at first I thought it was alcohol. Um, so I checked myself into a rehab. And that's when I started getting counseling. And that's when I started going deep. And that's when I realized that it was much more than the physical. Um, so when I came from that place, I continued with my counseling. Then I fell off. And I went back to some bad behaviors. Not cheating. Cheating wasn't one of them. Even though I did cheat on my current wife once. I cheated on her one time. Regretted it. I'm a horrible liar. I'm going to tell on myself. Um, but I made a conscious decision to really start working on myself, to really stop pointing the fingers at every woman I had. It was their problem and it wasn't mine. They was always the issue. So I started taking accountability for my bull. I and now the journey that I'm on now is I'm within a peace within myself. I never loved myself, so I couldn't love someone else. You understand what I'm saying? Like someone told me yesterday, "Oh, I love this person more than I love myself." No, you can't. There's no possible way you can do that. So I had to be good with me because at one time I couldn't even be alone with me. That's how much I didn't even like me. Now I'm at a point in my life where I love me, so I'm loving everything around me. It's a I always say my wife is a reflection of me. So if I didn't love me, I couldn't love her. Now I love her the right way. Um, it's not a toxic love no more. It's not toxic sex, even though and you know what, the sex is so much better now. I don't even want like every time my wife get undressed, I look at her like it's the first time she's undressing. I get the butterflies now. I get that excitement. I want to be like, ooh, I want to cuddle now. I want to do all them type of things, and I know it comes from healing because at one time after it was over, it was over. Even with my wife, like move, move. Now it's not like that. I want to conversate more. I like the spiritual part of sex now, and it is a spiritual part of sex. I like the mental part of it. So healing for me has been, ooh wee, God.
So you're on a beautiful journey
It's,
of discovery.
huh?
And how does that affect your wife? How is she going through the steps with you through your healing journey?
You know what? I contribute everything, all this good, all the good that's going on in my life right now is because of her. Um, she told me last week, I have fallen back in love with you. And
Wow.
you know that there was worth everything. Like I don't I used to look at porn, right? When I couldn't get to a woman, I used to look at porn. I don't even do that now. All I do is anticipate on when I see my wife again. And that is true. You know, I'm not just blowing smoke. I tell her this all the time. I told her that today, like, man, I just can't wait till I see you again. Like the love have changed. Our love language have changed. Yeah. So this is for every man out there that's going through this. Let me tell you something. It's not worth it. For one, you're hurting someone else. And that's the most important thing. Like the women that we hurt along our way, along the man, like if I can just take that back, I would. I wouldn't take my journey back, but I most definitely take the hurt back because I have hurt some women along the way. Some beautiful women, some beautiful souls. Yeah. And if I could really apologize to each one of them, I really would.
And that's what
That's
I was gonna
beautiful.
say. I mean, I think that's big of you to be accountable. And one of our guests, Valerie, was saying accountability is the key. Um, and it's definitely true, because when we're held accountable, then we can start making the changes along the way. But so I do want to say, like, when you said that if you could say, apologize and take back what you did to all the women that you hurt, um, where you are in life, as far as you're healing, you want to be better, you're seeking forgiveness. You also have to understand too that they may still be stuck in the hurt that was caused to them, and maybe going through it in their relationships and on their journey. So even when you reach out, they may not receive it. When you may mean it with all your heart, they may not receive it and call you what they see you
Right.
as, not who you are now.
I mean, I
So I
went through that.
know
I went through that. I was able to
yeah.
apologize to my first wife, and she rejected it, and I understood. Because I mean, I was living like I was single in that marriage.
Mm.
I very much understand. Got to give her time to heal, and hopefully one day she will forgive me, not for me, but for herself, or for the next man that come into her life, or wherever it may be. But yeah, I pissed that marriage away. Ooh, God, I did some.
Did you
Yeah, I was
cause the
living like I
same
was
pain in
single.
both marriage? Like, did you?
Yeah.
So in both marriages, like you said that
Well,
you just cheated through that marriage.
I cheated through that whole
What's
marriage.
the difference in how you are? And so in this
What you
marriage,
mean?
did you cheat in this marriage too? Like, what? How did you
I
hurt in
cheated
this
one time.
marriage?
I cheated one time. I cheated one time in this marriage in 2016. Yeah,
Hmm.
I did.
Well,
Um,
let me.
So I was gonna say, so it was more than one way of hurting them. It wasn't just
yeah,
sexual, right?
yeah.
Um,
Mentally abusive, verbally abusive,
mhm,
all those things. Hurting people. I mean, I
mhm,
wasn't doing them, but throwing my hurt at them.
mhm. Okay. What were you trying to say, Reith? I'm sorry.
Um. So, so your first wife, she hasn't gotten to the healing point, and you did say you cheated on your second wife.
Hmm.
Did and it was verbal. It was and it was
Hmm.
physical, not physical
Hmm.
abuse, but I'm saying
Hmm. Hmm.
did did you ever address the point where it's me, not you? Because most women will take on the burden of, oh, he doesn't want me, I'm not enough, and they internalize that. Did you address that with your current wife as well
Most
as your past?
definitely. Most definitely. When I actually this was probably about 3 years ago. The last time I seen my first wife, and we would just happen to bump into each other in Walmart, and I tried to have that conversation with her, let her know it wasn't you. I wasn't ready. I had no business even asking you to marry me. You understand? And with my current wife, she know. She know because she had some healing to do too. So she know. So I make it known to her. Look, babe, it was me. But you know, I look at my marriage now like a diamond. It's a diamond. It had to go through some pressure in order to shine.
I love that.
And Ken, speaking of that pressure, can you kind of talk about what it took for her or for you to her to get to the point to say, "I've fallen back in love with you again"? What steps did you take to mend that relationship?
Treating her like a woman, treating her like a queen, doing what the Bible said. Love thy wife like Jesus loved the church. Um, I had to. I'm still working. Don't get me wrong. It's not. I'm still working on her mentally, cause you know things that she's holding on to. So I'm still trying to prove myself to her. But I have shown her that I really changed as far as being a man, being a leader, a provider, a
Mhm,
protector. Because I always told her, it's crazy. I could protect. I was protecting you from everything but me. I couldn't protect you from me.
mhm,
And now I'm protecting her from me by doing what I'm doing, by healing, by getting the help I need. So yeah, and she see that. She see that.
And what do you want to say to the men out there that, you know, was in the same position that you were in when it comes to, you know, like hurting other women and being in a new space and trying to do better, but like for example, in your case, your wife is staying with you and working with you, and in other cases they don't. I know that sometimes it can probably discourage you to, you know, quit or whatever, but what would you say to those men that may be in that situation?
I mean, if they're in that situation and their wife already done left, don't do it for you. Don't do it for them. You got to do it for yourself first. It got to be done for
Mm-hmm.
you, because guess what? Only thing you're gonna do is keep repeating the same steps if you're doing it for the next person. So if you're only doing it for that woman, it's not genuine first and foremost. Because that's how I started out, trying to do it for her, and then guess what? I started back repeating the same steps. You have to do it for you, and it's worth it. The love is worth it. First of all, what we have to realize is just not just men, but just people. Period, man. Sex is intended to be with love. So when we have that, God, sex is so much better. I mean, I wish I'd have learned this way back then, and I wouldn't have been messing with all them women. I'd have
Yeah.
just truly loved one. Because what I found out is that a woman is going to give back what you give.
Mm-hmm.
So by me loving my wife now, I'm talking about loving her unconditionally, she's giving it back. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute now, wait. Now, you reaching your sexual peak now? Because I need a break.
You know what, Ken, when you said that I wish I would have known this love in the beginning, you know, not to go back there, but you gotta kind of remember you said that you were molested. So when you were exposed to love, to sex, it wasn't love.
Right.
And it wasn't through, you know, good intention. So it's like you
Right.
took on all of that energy, and then of course you saying that you didn't say anything to your family until you was 40, so that means this child walking around protecting something that someone did to him, you know, not knowing what to do with it. So I mean, you wouldn't know what love was because it wasn't
Mm-mm.
love to you. It was really
I mean,
just sex.
I recently just really allowed that little boy to go away. Like gave him permission to leave. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. And
Hmm.
I recently just did that. Like literally looked that little boy in his eyes, cried, and said, "I love you, but I can't live with you. You know, it's a hindrance for me." And not just him, other alter egos I had that because I made up people. Like they used to call me dirty. So he was the one that was out there. I'm just not getting to know Kenyatta. I know that little boy, I know Dirty, and I know Ken. I'm getting to know
Mm.
Kenyatta, and I like what I'm seeing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
How old were you when you said the trauma took place?
I was 11.
At 11. So now that you have gone through the process, you're doing the work, you're healing. Can you look back and see how at 11, which is the age the trauma occurred, you were stuck there? And
Oh
as
yeah,
an adult man, all your decisions and your behavior were that of the 11-year-old boy. So
yes,
how you moved was very childlike. The
yes.
immaturity that showed up wasn't Kenyatta, it was the little boy in you. And so when you said, I had to let that little boy go, that's exactly what took place. The 11-year-old was able to heal, and you were able to grow into Kenyatta.
Yeah,
Right.
facts,
Pretty
Yes.
powerful.
facts. I mean, even with that, now it didn't. The molestation, it really didn't. It caused more things. The overprotection because my little brother, my little cousin would be there, and when this family friend would come in, I would give them change to go to the store. So it created an overprotected thing, which I carried on into my marriage and relationships, and it became toxic. So it was a lot of things that I took from that moment and grew with, and it grew ugly. It grew into a monster. And now I can say I'm free of it. I can breathe a little easy.
Did you ever have a chance to address your
Who is
abuser?
that?
No,
No,
but
no.
I forgive him because somewhere along the line he was hurt. Something happened to him. Something happened to her. So I forgive him.
That's good. That's beautiful. Have you changed your circle
Hmm.
of
Oh
friends?
yes, 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 most definitely. I don't hang with. You know what? It irritates me when I go around old friends and they still talking about the same stuff. It really irritates me. Like, dude, come on, man. You still talking about women? Multiple women? Nah, man, shit. When you really settle down, you're gonna see
Hmm.
having one is enough. I didn't even know the stress I was putting myself in.
Mm.
All the multiple personalities, all them different PMSs.
Different energy.
Ah, no. And then taking. I believe I'm a firm believer in transferring of energy, or as we say in the black church, transfer of different spirits. Me sleeping with this, I just slept with everybody she slept with. She just slept everybody I slept with, and it just on and on and on. And then you wonder why you acting a fool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ken, as you've matured in your relationship, my question to you is about intimacy because intimacy is very different from sex. So now, what does that look like in your relationship with your wife?
You know what? My wife had a big thing with me just holding hands in public. Like I would hold her hand for maybe a minute and let it go. Now I grab hold to her. I hold hands. We hold hands. We kiss in public because I wasn't an affectionate person. I didn't show that side. So that right there is something that's important to her. So if it's important to her, it's important to me now. So just holding hands, you know, being attentive. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So would you say that you're being loved whole for the whole person you are?
Most definitely. Most definitely. And she also know that I'm still growing, and I'm going to be growing to the day God called me home. But she know I'm growing in the right direction. So it make it easier for her to love me.
Oh,
And I didn't know that. I didn't understand that at one time. Like we can make it difficult or easy for someone to love us. And she told me one time, I love you, but I don't like you.
Mm,
And I told her I don't even like me, so I can't expect you to like me. So now that we like each other, we like each other.
Hmm.
We like to be around each other. We like each other's presence. So yeah, it's a blessing.
Kenyatta, you make me want to jump up and shout and run circles around this room here in this story. People out here gonna hear this story and be like, you know what? There is hope for this man that I am over here with, praying for every night, hoping that he can change. They
You
gonna get
can.
delivered from hearing this tonight, Kenyatta. Like they gonna get a
I
word
hope.
from you and be like, I got
I,
hope. I got
I
hope.
really hope the men. I really hope the men that is listening to this, man, just I can't change you, but I really hope that I plant a seed that they allow God to water because it's real. It's true. When you find a wife, you find a good thing. I don't think I was without my wife. I would have been self-destruct.
Mm.
She is, they say a better half. Nah, she my hold.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I owe God all thanks in the world for using her as a vessel, placing her in my life because now I don't just love her, I appreciate her.
Mm.
Yeah. So I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. And I know me touching another woman will hurt her. And I don't want to hurt no more. I just want to love.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I look. Woo, I still get urges. Woo. But I'm not acting on them. Yeah.
So one
Um,
of our guests said, Ken, that you need a
That are
podcast.
dating the younger version of
I say it again.
what advice would you give to women that are dating the younger version of yourself?
Woo. Lord, I want to say stick in there is gonna happen, but Lord have mercy. Ooh, the
You
younger
want to tell
me.
them to stick in there
Come on
with the
now,
young
Ken.
you?
No,
Come on
that
now, Ken. You've been honest the
I
whole
don't want to.
show.
I don't want to betray the bro code,
Somebody said run.
but man, man, find you an escape route.
Six stage left.
yes.
Yeah, find an escape route. Get
Don't.
away. That person got to live. I mean, got to heal first.
Out of here. Yeah.
No,
That person
live
is not
too.
going to love
We
you.
can do both.
Yeah.
Um, Ken, can you hear me? Ken,
Yeah. Yes, I heard you.
we have about 9 more minutes. I just have a question as we wrap up. So you mentioned that, now you are learning who Kenyatta is, right? And earlier in the show, you talked about your girls and how you would say to them, don't bring home me. And as we all know, that's easier said than done because most people do what they see or act on what they see. Can you tell me, as Kenyatta, what would your words be to your girls at this point?
First would be proceed with caution. Um, Make sure you're healed because I feel like when you healed, you're gonna make wiser decisions. Toxic attract toxic, so you heal first. Um, and if that man that you're with not treating you like the queen that you are, respecting, if you ever feel like you're not enough for him, leave. If there's ever a time you look at him and you see me, the old me, leave. If there's ever a time when you don't feel like what you're doing is good enough, leave. I mean, it may come back, and it may come back when both of y'all are healed, but do not stay in a relationship that is toxic, especially with your old daddy. Now, your new daddy's a hell of a guy now.
Hmm.
Yeah, most definitely. That's my advice to my girls is to bring new daddy home, not old daddy.
Mhm.
New daddy.
Awesome. What else do we
Well,
have?
that
Do we
was
have
awesome.
anything in the chat?
Um,
Oh, daddy was.
Somebody say old daddy was a mess.
Isn't that it?
You most definitely right.
yeah.
April, I know we're about to wrap up, April, but Ken, I want to get this in. You said that you know that you hurt a lot of women, and if you had an opportunity to apologize to them, you would. So you might not have an opportunity to apologize to them individually or ever apologize to them at all. But I'm sure there are a lot of women that will watch this video that have been hurt by a man very similar to you. Is there anything that you would like to say to those women to help
Ooh.
them better understand that what they went through wasn't about them, but it was about him?
First of all, on behalf of all men that have taken advantage of all women. I want to apologize to the women that have been taken advantage of, that have been hurt. Um, it's not y'all. It is not y'all. 9 times out of 10, the man is going through some type of hurt. It's something he's going through, and he's just projecting it onto you. Um, I apologize for my actions. Not only,
Oh. Oh.
not,
Take your time.
not only to the women, but to my mom, my daughters, the mothers of my children, and just, man, y'all are queen, y'all are beautiful, and without y'all, there is no us. And I think it's time that we start treating y'all as such. We start protecting y'all. We start living up to what we was made for. I mean, if we truly believe that y'all are real, it's time for us to really treat our women like that, man. It's time out for the BS, y'all. Our community is we have enough pimps and players, man. We need some men. We need men. Ladies, women, I apologize. Y'all are worthy and y'all deserve way more than what we give.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for your honesty. I mean, throughout this entire show, thank you for your transparency. You have definitely helped a lot of people tonight. Would you like to kind of tell people where they can find you on social media?
Facebook, Kenyatta Brown. Instagram, it connects to my Facebook because I don't even know it. I'm not a big social media person, but I want to thank y'all for giving me opportunity, sharing y'all platform with me.
Yes.
I hope that I have helped someone along this journey. I'm gonna continue to be open. If anybody want to talk, reach out to the ladies. They get my information. I'm an open book. I'm
Now
here for
wait a
it.
minute, Ken. Don't be saying if these women want to talk, reach out to
No,
them.
I said
Yeah.
men,
No, men.
men,
Let them
men.
DM you.
Okay.
I don't want
You
to
know,
even talk about something
your
like that. Let
DM's
them
gonna be
DM
on fire in the morning. Let's
Let
be
them,
No,
clear.
right. Let them DM
let,
you.
Let's
let,
be
let me
clear.
clarify that
Your
then.
DMs is about to blow up.
Men,
Yeah.
if you're going through something, man, if you're going through the same thing I was going through, and you need some help, just someone to talk to, man, I'm here. Men,
Only. Men
Adams,
only.
not Eve. Adams, not Eve.
Okay. Well, we would like to thank everyone for watching our show tonight. Please continue to like, follow, and share. Continue to tune in to our show. We will be back on August the 7th. The show will be about the hidden desires of men navigating love, success, and relationships. This will be an awesome show. Please tune in. Please share, share, so that we can continue to grow this conversation. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes. Have a good bourbon night. Bye bye.